That's very sad.
Wow.
Yeah, the Mission Impossible star is in the building. I think he's going to be excited by this one.
Are we getting in there, Big Mix?
I'll get you in there.
Yeah,
Don't you worry.
Yeah.
We're going to go and crash the party. I'll throw my way around. Don't worry about that.
Mission Impossible?
No, it's not.
Did you guys plan that joke? That was a bit bad.
I know.
Come here. It's so
all the time.
Go.
Let them know.
Hey, Anita, it was like you called him Del Piero. His name was Alex.
Where did I get Del Piero from? I've been listening to you too much. Honestly, they give me too much airtime, Jamie. I'm here listening to how you call players' names. But anyway, a couple of minutes to go. As we can see, they're unpacking here, getting ready for the pitch to be ready for this Champions League final. How do we see it playing out?
I think it'll be a great game. It's difficult to split them. The first goal will be huge because Inter Milan in this competition have only been behind for 14 minutes from match day one to the final. So if PSG get the first goal, it might be a big problem for Internazionale.
Internazionale. And Jamie, just give us a thoughts, the insight, what it's like walking out in a final. What are the nerves like?
It's very nerve-wracking, but it's also exciting because you can get your hands on that beautiful thing there, Thierry.
But Thierry, were you nervous when you played in those two Champions League finals?
The last one, yeah, because I knew it was going to be the last one. So there's no going to be another chance to come back, and yeah, it's going to be a special one. But obviously, you are asking the question. For us in France, it's a must.
And here come Paris Saint-Germain.
We're all behind Paris Saint-Germain, apart from Marseille, like I said before. But really, we are all behind Paris Saint-Germain. By the way, who were the two players there?
I think it's Zanetti, and I couldn't see the other one. I only see the end shot.
Is it right?
But more importantly, how will tonight's game play out?
Pastore.
How will tonight's game play out?
Well, look, we all going to know that Paris Saint-Germain, we all know, that Paris Saint-Germain going to be on the ball, Inter is going to counter. Like I said, you know, Inter has everything to hurt Paris Saint-Germain, but Paris Saint-Germain is a well-organized team. Like I said, I will repeat it, we need Paris Saint-Germain to win in France. It's vital for French football.
Oh, well, Jamie, I thought you were going to come in there and fly the Internazionale flag. You can see the
I'm PSG now. I've had the PSG scarf, and I'm trying to get back in Luis Enrique's good books, aren't I?
Okay, well, hopefully you see that picture of you with the scarf around your neck if they win, of course, come the end. But it's time for the main event. The players are lining up in the tunnel, and your commentators for the Champions League final, the PSG versus Inter Milan. Here's Clive Tilsley and Rob Green. Enjoy the first half. We'll see you again at half-time.
Well, one big difference is that the Nerazzurri will be the Giallo tonight. The blue and black strip clashes with PSG's colours. They've been asked to change into their third kit, their yellow kit. Why not their second kit? Because they've lost twice in their second kit this season and won 7 out of 9 in yellow. Rob Green, all the science that goes into preparing these players, and you're bothered about the shirts you wear?
We're a superstitious bunch, Clive. We're a sensitive bunch as well, so it's just about how the shirt feels, how it looks when you go around the dressing room and you look at each other, you think, yeah, this fits us well, this suits us well. It's a call from the Inter Milan players. You know what? I'm sure once they step out onto the pitch, they will not care one jot.
Welcome to the men versus boys final. Inter Milan take to the field with a team that is 5.5 years a man older than the Paris Saint-Germain 11. Men versus boys is a phrase often loosely used to describe the difference between two competing teams. Tonight, well, it's almost a fact. And when you're preparing to play in the biggest game of your life, it might just be the difference too. Inter Milan without a single player born in the 21st century, average age nearly 30.7, streetwise, worldly, 8 of their 11 played in this final 2 years ago. And then in the yellow, Paris Saint-Germain, in the blue, Paris Saint-Germain, Generation Alpha, average age 25.2, still blossoming, still finding their way in the game, in the world. Can they find a way to overcome the wizened experience of Inter in Munich tonight? That is the question, and that might be the final right there. Not quite the youngest ever team to play in the final. The Ajax side of 1995 were a few months a man, PSG's juniors. And not quite the oldest team for a Champions League final either. The AC Milan 11 that Jamie Carragher faced in 2007 were just a little more vintage than this Inter team, but the age gap between tonight's teams is a fascinating element of this final. Paris Saint-Germain won a cup final last Saturday night, the French Cup final. Donnarumma sat that game out, but he was the very first name on this team sheet. The rest of the team virtually picked itself. Ronskovic and Kvaratskhelia shook off an illness that kept him out of last weekend's game. The only decision was Bradley Barcola or Desiree Doué in attack, and Doué has got the nod. Only Marquinhos has played in a Champions League final before. 5 years ago, PSG's front line in the final was Di Maria, Mbappe and Neymar. Two coaches with so much on their minds, but their work is done. The referee is Istvan Kovacs from Romania. The two captains are from South America, and surprisingly, only two South Americans have ever lifted the famous European Cup as captain. Marcelo of Brazil 3 years ago, in a final he spent on the Real Madrid bench, and Javier Zanetti of Argentina, who captained Inter to victory 15 years ago and is still the club's vice president. It will be Marquinhos or Lautaro Martinez's turn tonight. The Inter Milan 11 shows just one change from that epic semi-final against Barcelona at San Siro 3 weeks ago. Benjamin Pavard, who played here for Bayern, has recovered from an ankle injury. He's preferred to Jan Bisek. 8 of this 11 played in the final 2 years ago. At the sharp end of the team, Lautaro Martinez is joined by Marcus Thuram. Both have had injury issues in recent weeks and have played little football in the last month or so. Are they well rested or are they rusty? We will know soon enough. This match is brought to you by Heineken, UEFA Champions League official sponsor. The 70th playing of the European Champions Cup, now UEFA Champions League final. The first was played in Paris, the city where the whole idea for the competition was first hatched. Is the trophy heading back to its spiritual home for the first time, or is it heading to its second home in Milan, where it's resided for 10 years on and off? Munich, the rest of Europe, await an answer. Rob Green alongside me will have that answer.
Thank you, Clive. Yeah, it's a massive matchup between the two where you're looking at PSG in the usual 4-3-3
for the first time. Or is it heading to its second home in Milan, where it's residing for 10 years
doing time after time?
Munich,
they're aggressive on the ball, they're aggressive off the ball.
Rob Green alongside me will have that answer.
Inter Milan, thank you, Clive. Yeah, it's a massive matchup between the two. Game about transitions, Clive. It's a game about the pace of the usual 4-3-3
for the first time. Or is it heading to its second?
Both teams. Hakimi, Nuno Mendes getting up front, getting up in support of Dembele, Doué, Kvaratskhelia in the 4-3-3 of PSG. Then there leaves that gap, leaves those holes in defence where the transition of Di Marco and Dumfries, the wing-backs of Inter Milan, can attack. This could be a game of just transitional pace.
João Neves forward towards Dembele. João Neves controlled it only for Thuram. Promising surge from him. Inter Milan scored 30 seconds into their semi-final. Paris Saint-Germain a little over 3 minutes into theirs. Both have players capable of changing a game in the blink of an eye. But be aware, the last 9 Champions League finals have been won by the team that scored the first goal. Hakimi, who will spend as much time in the Inter half as he will in his own.
We were remarking in the warm-up that he was alongside Dembele, who's now drifted out. He's into the midfield, and you can look at João Neves, who's now drifted back, but it's that positional rotations that they have that's key to the PSG game. They're a little bit cautious at the minute. Vitinha's dropping back in. Gancho, Marquinhos at the back. They'll be wary of that pace. They'll be wary of the directness that Inter Milan have.
PSG have the ball and Inter don't, and that may well be the story of the night. Desiree Doué starting on this right-hand side with Kvaratskhelia on the opposite flank, unable to squeeze it through to Fabian Ruiz. Barella though loose. Here's Doué once more. Turned away by Mkhitaryan. Doué held off Çalhanoğlu, who caught one in the face, I think innocently.
Yeah, it's just offending hand. There was nothing more. Just a reaction from Doué. But interesting, straight away, looking at the gaps that once Inter got it and lost it, the spaces that were there for PSG to attack. Looking at that man, he prepared this team. He'll be full of confidence as to how they play. The team that he's created, this young side, vibrant side. Wondering whether the bright lights of the final will prove too much to them, but how they've gone about this group stage, nothing's fazed them so far.
Stoney looking for the head of Dumfries. Barella will keep it in. Here is Benjamin Pavard, who hasn't played for a month, nursing an ankle injury. Summer has to be quick about his work and couldn't find DiMarco.
Just need a moment on the ball here, Inter. Just suffering a little bit.
Football is a tiring game to play without the ball, particularly when you're giving 5.5 years away to every one of your opponents.
Well, this is the interesting thing for Inter, is that they've got the midfield three, and two of which are the wrong side of 30. Mkhitaryan and Çalhanoğlu. The 36, one of the 31, and knows how long will they last, how long will Barella, the other one, he's just approaching the ball there, how long will he last, having to do the running for the three of them as well, two of which are the wrong side of 30.
It's a warm, sticky evening in Milan. Mkhitaryan's running up a free kick here.
Knows how long will they last, how long will Barella, the other one, he's just approaching the ball there, how long will he last, having to do the running for the three of them as well, two of which are the wrong side of 30.
It's a warm, sticky evening in Milan. This is 36 now. Managed his minutes in recent weeks. Mkhitaryan.
He's just approaching the ball there. How long will he wait there, having to do the running for the three of them as well, two of which are the wrong side of 30.
So will Dani DiMarco for Inter.
You're looking at two of the most attacking wing-backs in football, along with Pavard, who will just charge from centre-back. He's still in the centre circle from the attack that they've just had, so it's not just PSG who've got the free-flowing movement.
He ruined a very expensive suit, stomping up and down the San Siro touchline in the Milan range during the semi-final. Simone Inzaghi was never actually inside the lines of his designated technical area for long, but he kicks every ball with his players, and you'd soon know if he wasn't happy with you. Here is Denzel Dumfries, who had a huge impact on those semi-finals. Vitinha. Fabian Ruiz. Achraf Hakimi. Desiré Doué. Stoney, the left centre-back, coming out to engage him. And Doué's pace stretching Bastoni. But he's muscular, physical, a little bit too muscular and physical for the liking of the referee. And PSG have a free kick.
It's a shot. It's just a push from Bastoni. He's pleading his innocence, but he doesn't want to be out there. The floor in their system with DiMarco going up high does ask Bastoni to come out wide and defend that corner, that right-hand channel, and he doesn't really want to go out. Those Doué's quick feet, he's got wonderful feet, and there's no real defence of that, as much as he might try.
He's got wonderful feet when he's lying on the floor, and that was Bastoni's thinking. Dembele is just short of Vitinha, but he's looking towards the penalty area where Pacho and Marquinhos are forward, and it's in towards Marquinhos, who almost made contact with it. Comes for Fabian Ruiz, and Marquinhos is there again. It's out as far as Vitinha this time, coached into the far post, and Marquinhos at the third attempt does make contact with the ball, but can't direct his header goalwards.
Well, we wouldn't have thought at the start of the game that crosses would be a huge weapon for PSG, but delivery was fantastic 3 times there from both sides of the pitch.
PSG hounding Inter out of possession more than once in these opening moments. Vitinha. It is who feeds it back to Fabian Ruiz. Now João Neves. Doué. Vitinha. Nuno Mendes. I think if you are a young, inexperienced team in your first Champions League final, playing against a team that surrender possession to you is not a bad thing. You get a chance to feel your way into the final.
Well, they were starting aggressively on the ball, just kicking it straight off, and that was the message they sent. We're going to play in your half, and they've done that ever since.
Desiré Doué. Got to watch the ball and not the mesmeric feet. Sustained spell of possession and pressure. Nuno Mendes fires it in to Fabian Ruiz. On to Achraf Hakimi. Di Marco deals with it, but his clearance is an anxious and hopeful one down.